Hello and welcome. Christopher Hunt here once again, and welcome to the newest episode of Musings of a Mariner Sojourning in the Land of Woke. It's all gone to pot. Okay, now, this is not so about something that I've been reading. This time it's more just about my thoughts and my experiences recently concerning marijuana, cannabis, weed, the devil's lettuce. I've always kind of felt myself to be somewhat pro legalization of marijuana, but on the fence a little bit. Whenever Colorado legalized it, it made me feel sick to my stomach, which that feeling, that gut reaction, if you will, got me to start reassessing my support for the legalization of marijuana. Well, I just recently made a trip to Washington State, and it's the first time I've been to Washington since Washington has legalized marijuana. And my idea of legalized marijuana and what I saw were two different things. Now, the casuality of marijuana in those places where marijuana is legal is frightening and is dangerous. Kind of blew me away. My aunt, she threw me a birthday party. Just turned 40 last week, and she threw me a birthday party, and at that birthday party, there was a bunch of people outside. My wife and my babies were out there. I went inside to grab me a bite to eat off of the food table we had, and there was kids out on the trampoline jumping, and then my little babies, my little Regina, she was running around a little bit, and the baby was in Mama's arms. And well, I saw out the window that a cousin of mine was taking out a pot pipe. And so I immediately went to go walk out there to tell him, hey, don't take those things out around the children. There's so many children around. And as I was walking out there to tell him this, he takes a hit and passes it to me as I'm walking out there. And he must have seen my rage overflowing. Now, I don't remember exactly what I said, how I worded it, but I used some choice words that probably weren't too woke. And his immediate reaction was to take off, leave. He left right away, but I never saw someone overtaken with fear like that from me. But I put the fear of God in him. And I'm very glad that he reacted the way he reacted, because if he had not reacted that way, or perhaps had tried to argue the point with me, it would have probably, well, I won't even say it probably, it would have ended violently, because of the anger that had overtaken me at him taking a hit of pot just a few feet from my child and a few feet from some other children. Had my blood boiling. Now, after that, I was corrected by a couple of people. They told me, well, pot is just like alcohol here now that it's legal, and that was what I was told. Pot is just like alcohol now that it's legal. And my immediate reaction is no. Pot, marijuana, cannabis, though it may be legal, is not like alcohol. And it ought not be smoked in front of children. So we could get into many different subjects concerning marijuana I believe that it is a legitimate medicine. My mother used it while she had cancer. Um, I know people who use it for pain. I know the CBDs are very good for controlling pain. I know it has a lot of help for people with nausea and loss of appetite and sleeping when it comes to certain types of chemotherapy. Uh, so I understand there's legitimate uses for marijuana, and I'm not completely opposed to the recreational use of marijuana either. I used to smoke pot as a kid, I'll admit that. It was kind of a normal thing for me when I was a teenager. And I outgrew it, but a lot of people I know didn't outgrow it. And you got the whole, well, it's a gateway drug. No, it's not a gateway drug. Yada, 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 this way and that. Well, without a doubt, it is a gateway drug. Not for everybody, but for many people. And I don't know what my audience that might be watching or listening to this is. I'm new to this whole thing, but if you have very many people in your life that are on hard drugs, cocaine, heroin, meth, pills, I'm sure if you start thinking about all those people, you'll see that they all probably started smoking pot before they started doing any of that other stuff. And I could also say, hey, I know a lot of people that smoke pot that have nothing to do with hard drugs. And I realize that. But I also realize that I don't know anybody in my family or past friends that's on heroin or meth that did not start out smoking pot first and that do not smoke pot now. So although not all people that smoke pot are on hard drugs, all people I know on hard drugs smoke pot. So my thoughts on legalization. Now I think that there's no way around the fact that pot is going to be legal across this nation. Over the next few years, it'll be legal everywhere in this nation, I believe. There might be a couple of states that end up holding out, but I don't think it will. So it's a reality that we have to deal with. It's a reality that's upon us. And with that being said, I would say that we need to set up a network of regulations on where to smoke pot. Maybe have cafes like they do in Amsterdam, but it shouldn't be open on the street. Family areas, family gatherings. Pot, though it may be legal, is not a good. Legal does not equal good. Good does not equal legal. So with this, I would just have to say that there needs to be a lot more thought into the regulation of marijuana once it is legal in different places, because the casuality that I've seen in the Northwest is sickening. It is so casual, it's more acceptable than smoking a cigar. Now, what kind of world we're in where smoking a cigar is going to be a lot less acceptable than smoking a joint or a bowl? To me, it blows me away. I just turned 40 years old, and everything's changed an awful lot just in the years that I've been around. A lot quicker than I would have ever expected. But I think we need to think about how to regulate the use of marijuana, how to regulate where marijuana is used. And I don't know, give me your thoughts on on legalization. Give me your thoughts on regulation. Give me your thoughts on all this. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Alright. God bless you all, and thank you for listening to the Musings of a Mariner, sojourning in the land of woke. Bye.